A useful feature of Combivis 6 is the virtual oscilloscope. This function can monitor certain diagnostic parameters of the inverter to create a visual graph showing the operation of the inverter and assist with troubleshooting. To begin, select the Combivis Scope button in the toolbar. Name your scope and click Add. Go to the New Channel tab in the scope window and select the parameter you would like to scope. Generally, the only parameters that are available to scope are diagnostic ones, for example, output current or DC bus voltage. You can select up to 16 channels per scope, but the first 4 channels work in synchronous mode. It's generally best to limit the channels to 4 in order to obtain the best possible data, as increasing the number of parameters reduces the resolution. You can drag the scope off to the side and then drag and drop parameters from the Device Parameters tab instead of manually adding them. Once you have chosen the parameters you would like to scope, you can start the scope recording by right-clicking and choosing Start Scope. This will begin data collection. To stop the data collection, either right-click and select Stop Scope, or select the Scope button from the toolbar. Once you have finished recording your data, you can choose to scale the channels in each channel setting. Often using the Auto Scale button can be useful until a certain level of familiarity with the Combivis scope is established. Once you've adjusted your scope to your preference, you can choose to either save it as part of your project or export the scope as either a Combivis scope file or a .csv file. To export the scope file, select the Export Scope Data button from the toolbar and follow the prompts to save the file. A key thing to know when using the scope function is that if you stop a scope and then start it again, it will clear the data that you just recorded. You can avoid losing the recorded scope data by either exporting the file out of Combivis or copying and pasting another instance of the scope into the project. In this way, you could run multiple tests and have all of the results saved in the project without needing to export the file every time. The Combivis scope also has 4 independent cursors that can be used to pinpoint information. To display cursors, right-click in the scope field and select the cursor you would like to use. Generally, it is more helpful to use the 2 vertical cursors to determine information at a given point in time, as shown here. For more advanced information on the Combivis scope, see the Combivis 6 user manual.